Good morning, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday morning, May 21st. We are looking at Window Trader's market profile of SPY, IWM, and triple Qs. And all three indices, as you can tell, now they had strong finishes yesterday, except once again, M period proved to be very unpredictable on SPY. And I say that's why it's so unreliable the day of, when it just puked out and really shook out some weak longs. We're right back attempting to take out yesterday's high. Again, the balance, we'll go over that in a minute to show you how important it is. Right now, triple Qs, remember, two sets of single prints yesterday, attempting to gap higher, Russell, look at the Russells. Carbon copy from the 17th. They did nothing all day. Went trend in L, probed in M. Same thing yesterday. Nothing all day. Trend in L, probed in M, gapping higher now, or attempting to the next day. Almost the same as the 18th, although they didn't gap higher, they did go higher, and then after a wide pop, gave it back late in the day. So what's played before affects what happens next, right? We'll see if that's the case. Now, SPY and ES. I know this is going to be small, but it's so visual and important to see. Here's your 8-day balance. All right, a lot of people, you can call it a 4-day balance, whatever you want to call it. The bottom line is this: 417.49, 404.79, just about a $13 balance. Until we get acceptance, either above it or below it, nothing's changed. Okay, look at Wednesday. Almost got to the bottom of it, and now we're right back to the top of it. Impressive, yes, but again, we need acceptance above it. It's one thing to trade above it, another to get acceptance. Now, to get acceptance is going to have to be some work, because first things first, we have to fill that very small gap of 32 cents. Then you have a price probe, and then we have the double distribution day. That's a large set of single prints. So if they close this gap today, the bulls, they're going to have to spend some time in a lower distribution and then see what happens inside those large single prints. It's not going to be, it's not going to be just one shot up. So that's to be determined. So let's go over destinations and a game plan. So right now on the upside, still going to use yesterday's high. We still have 75 minutes to go of 416.62. Then we have our pre-market high for now, 417.03. It's obviously higher than 417.03, but it's right around there. For now, I'll give that. Then we have 417.49 daily high, and then filling that gap I just spoke about of 81 cents. Above that, again, you should have all the ones I gave you. 418.74 price probe from the 10th, and then the single prints. 419.89, get filled at 421.03, and then 422.74 weekly high. For the downside, if we gap higher, we'll use yesterday's high of 416.62. Then we have the overnight low of 414.75. Now, I was only 8 wide. Am I counting N? We did not probe. We have a double distribution day, 2 sets of single prints, but our next, until we get more MGI, our next downside reference point is the pullback of 414.10, and then everything else I gave you yesterday. Now, obviously, we'll be getting new market-generated information in the initial balance, but at least for now, that's what we have. Now, so what's the game plan? Well, again, everybody will be screaming, gap rules apply. Gap rules will apply, so will balance rules, plain and simple. So, if we gap, it's not that bad a gap. I might take a long to see what happens at the top of the balance if we get to it and try to fill this gap, at least the first time. I said that yesterday I wanted to do that, and then we ended up later before we opened getting right to that gap, and I waited for more MGI. So it's basically the same game plan today. If we have a small gap, even if the gap fills, as long as we hold value higher, then I'll see to take a long to go and attempt to fill the other gap from the 11th. If we get any acceptance into M's range, though, I would be out, because there is nothing, right? We'll trade all of M's range. Look what they did in M period yesterday. Very easily could trade it. It's 168 ticks. So any acceptance back into yesterday's range, especially into value, if you're long, I would be out, because then we're going to probably go test the POC from yesterday. But if we hold higher value, stay above L&M, then we could start making that upwards move. Again, we need acceptance above the 8-day balance high. So that's a long. As far as a short, if we open below L&M, it's high, can't take it out, then you can take a short against yesterday's high and see if we do trade all of them. If you get acceptance above L&M, especially if you fill the gap from the 11th, then I'd be out of the trade. Again, these are all early plays. Today's an options expiration, so we'll see where they try to pin it. And the most important thing right now is we have probably 90% odds, if not higher, of having an inside week. So again, even though we might not get clarity today, we might get above this balance high and close above it. That would be nice. But even if we close above it, the odds of an inside week are very, very good. So again, you'll have the weekly imbalance, possibly the daily imbalance, unless we close above that. So we're still waiting for MGI. And I'll show you that on the chart. Again, I will recap all of these indices, break down the charts from top down tonight. So here's the weekly. With 1 day to go, it's an inside week. Very good odds to have that. And then when we come out of the inside week next week, we're either going to go for all-time highs or we go and test the bottom of that balance, plain and simple. And in the smaller time frame, the daily, we can't do what I just said in the weekly until the daily gets resolved. So here we are attempting to open above the 20-day moving average. We've been battling it for 4 days. Just as important to get above the 14th high with acceptance, fill this gap, and get firmly entrenched into May 10th. If you do that and start grinding away, the all-time high is in sight. If you fail at this level and come back in, well, then you're going to roll over, and would the third time be the charm if we test the lower end of the balance. Good luck trading today. Have an awesome day, and we'll recap at 4 p.m.